All right, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Movie Talks and Chill. We're your hosts. I'm Tony Serrato.
I'm Kevin Butts.
I'm Patrick Wall.
And after that little blunder, we can actually start this thing. So
I like how you point out the blunder that they don't know about.
Yeah, well,
we restarted.
I'm just actually going to tell everybody. I'll be honest. I screwed it
I
up.
told you we should have kept it.
Well, it's technically still in there, so it's saved. That'll be for the extra features that people pay for. So we are beginning the holiday season. Thanksgiving's coming up.
At the time of this recording, it's this upcoming Thursday.
Yep, it'll
At
be.
the time this goes out, it will be tomorrow.
Yep.
It goes out on Wednesday.
Yes, yeah, okay. You're messing me up with time.
It'll be tomorrow. Wait, hold on.
But tomorrow's, anyway.
Wait, if I carry the two.
Math is hard. The holiday season's beginning. Thanksgiving kind of really kicks it off. A lot of people, start with, Halloween, obviously. But when they talk about the holiday season, Thanksgiving, Christmas time. So with Thanksgiving coming up, instead of talking about Thanksgiving movies this time, because we talked about that last year. And
I think we ran through every movie possible.
And some of them were not really full on Thanksgiving or had Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we were grasping at straws by the end of that episode.
So when I think of Thanksgiving, I think of eating. I mean, that's really what...
it's the greatest eating holiday.
Yes.
Yeah, so when I was thinking about it, I said, hey, why don't we talk about movies with some of the best food scenes in them?
It's the whole reason for New Year's resolutions.
Yeah, right? Yeah, it's the start of it. The start of your downtime.
I told myself I was going to lose 20 pounds this year. Only 25 more to go.
Yep. So when we talk about, best food scenes, there's plenty of movies with food in them, but there's also unique food scenes. There's fun food scenes. There's all sorts of movies with scenes with food. So I don't know if you guys want to kick one off or if you want me to jump right into it.
It was your topic. Why don't you kick us off?
All right. So one of the ones I think of, it's from a movie from my childhood, and we have talked about it because we've talked about the actor before and we've talked about the movie, is in Hook.
Fuck. That was mine.
So when they imagine, they have to use their imaginations, and all of a sudden there's all this food there. At first, when...
You're just staring at empty bowls and stuff. You're like, what is going on here?
Peter Banning, Robin Williams' character, all the kids are sitting around the TV, and they're just sitting there... like shoveling what he can't see of anything, and then all of a sudden he basically learns how to use his imagination finally, or gets it back, and then just plethora of food, which then also becomes like a food fight.
Yeah.
And so I just thought of that, and I was like, when you think about really fun food scenes in movies, that's kind of one I think of.
Yeah, me too.
Apparently, so Patrick. I didn't realize you would actually have that one under your gun. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Gavin has to go because I need a few minutes.
Good, because I'll probably steal your second one. I mean, mine is probably a quick scene, but I just love it because it's completely quotable in any situation. It's from Billy Madison when they're bringing the cafeteria ladies bringing the sloppy joes. Uh-huh. I made them extra sloppy for you. Hey, lady, you're scaring us.
I know how you kids like them sloppy.
But even though he's sitting there and he's like giving the kids shit. He's like, hey, I think Donkey Kong is actually the greatest name. Donkey Kong sucks. You know what? You suck.
Yeah. So that's obviously a good one too.
It's a quick one, but it is still such an iconic scene in that movie.
Rapid fire.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure I'll think of a much better one throughout the course of this episode, but right now the only other one I can think of is the scene from which we talked about a couple weeks ago, Wedding Crashers, when they're having the dinner when they first get to the estate. So Bradley Cooper, Christopher Walken, and Owen Wilson are having somewhat of a polite conversation. There's a little bit of tension between him and Bradley Cooper. But right across from him, Vince Vaughn is getting jacked off underneath the table, and you can just see his reaction. He's like, yes, I love that idea.
Holy shirts and pants.
Yes.
Is the name of the company. Yeah. Someone's got to pay for the lap dances for the big guy over here.
I just remember laughing my ass off at that dinner scene so hard, especially like the next scene. He's like, "You just didn't get jacked off underneath the table in front of the whole family."
Yeah. How about you have some real problems, jackass? What was she? Built for speed or for comfort?
Yeah. Motorboat son of a bitch.
So I have one that's kind of on a different spectrum. Well, it's definitely a big feast in a movie, but Indiana Jones.
Oh, and the Temple of Doom.
Temple of Doom, yeah.
Where they're eating the snakes and stuff, and the monkey brains, and they cut the snake open, and all the other snakes come out, and yep. That's delicious. Shut up.
I don't want to.
Yeah. I don't eat
gonna do it
snakes.
too.
I don't eat snake.
I didn't want to eat snake that has already been eaten by snake.
It's not a movie, but there's an old TV show called Reaper, and it's about the son of the devil who has to go around collecting souls for him because they've escaped hell. It's a weird premise. I thought it was great, but it only lasted a season and a half because, people hate me. But the first episode, because I work at a grocery store, the store manager was like, anybody who can get to the top sales will get a nice holiday ham, and off camera you could hear just someone yell, "I'm Jewish," and then you immediately or a very nice turkey for our Hebrew friends. It was like the funniest part of the first season. That's the whole. The show is definitely quirky and has some funny humor, but that one was the best part. And in my mind, if you've seen that show, you're the other person in the world, and I appreciate it.
Hi, other person in the world.
You and I have one thing in common.
Send him an email.
Yep.
This is a population of 2. Well, the one, and I'm surprised that you didn't bring this up because you showed me the movie, but that's all about food. It's Chef.
Yes.
That's a great movie.
It's
a hidden gem.
Phenomenal.
Yes.
And it was only, I think we talked about it before. I know we talked about it on camera before, but it was a hidden gem because I think I said it came out in 2013. And that was during the time of the midst of all the big Marvel stuff and Robert Downey Jr. But not Robert Downey Jr. But he was in it. He had a
John
little
Favreau
part.
had done.
He did Iron Man.
Did Iron Man
2. I think
I think he had the second one.
And he stayed on as producer on a lot of the stuff too. So, but he just kind of wanted to.
Yeah, he's best friends with Kevin Feige
out.
at this point.
Yeah, basically, they got each other's numbers.
Yeah,
They're cool.
They're at the pool right now.
But the thing about that movie
it's
is
7:30 in the morning where they live.
Literally all about food. I mean, that's all it's about, and it's actually you learn quite a few good tips if you watch the movie on how to bake some good make some good Cubans and some brisket sliders, and I mean, he basically makes everything. And half of the Avengers were in that movie, so
dude, I remember us watching that movie. The whole time I'm like, all right, Tony, when you making me dinner? You sat me down to watch this damn, especially the brisket scene.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
I love
that looks so
brisket.
great. It looks so great.
Well, because they go to that one guy, he's basically, he's like a barbecuer.
Yeah.
And they go to his place, his restaurant. He's like, how many can we get? And he opens up his smoker, and there's 7 or 8 racks of briskets, and it's like, how hot?
It's like that place over on 49th across from Kimmy D's where you could just smell the barbecue from 5 blocks away.
Yep.
And they just make it in the morning, and when they run out, they close down the shop.
Yep. That was Papa's Barbecue.
Yeah, and there's another place exactly like that on 580 just over the bridge when you're getting into Oldsmar.
Ooh.
So when I used to ride a motorcycle and I worked at a, let's just say, large company in Oldsmar, I would take that route and I could smell it from Philippi Parkway. I was like, ooh, they're almost done. I know where I'm going for lunch today.
They're almost done.
But real quick, you mentioned Cubans. I'm assuming you mean Cuban sandwiches from the...
Yes,
yeah.
not Cuban beings.
Yeah.
No,
Not Cuban human
He
beings.
roasted people.
Hey, I haven't seen the movie yet, so as far as I know, it's like Soylent Green.
It's got a really nice plot twist to it.
We
But,
moved on to Silence of the Lambs.
When I was on vacation in Massachusetts, I went and visited a friend at a local apple orchard, and they have a deli shop, and you can get sandwiches. And I was reading the board, and I was like, since I'm from Tampa, and where they basically invented the Cuban sandwich, from what I
Not
understand.
basically, they invented the
They
Cuban
invented
sandwich. That
the
was
Cuban
much fun
sandwich.
trivia fact for the guests. Can you guess where the Cuban sandwich was invented?
Tampa, Florida.
Cuba?
But I was standing next to her, and she had her little one, and she's like, what sandwich do you want to get? And I was looking at the board. I was like, this is super weird to look at a sandwich board and not see a Cuban sandwich listed.
Yeah.
It was like, where's the Cuban? That's my go-to.
Where's your Cubans at?
I was gonna say they. I don't think there's too many down here that maybe that's just all they have on the.
Yeah.
They have Cuban and salad.
I remember when we used to work in the office every day, and I would go down to the cafeteria for lunch. I would look at their daily menu. And I was like, "Well, that's all crap." Oh, look, the sandwich station has standing Cuban sandwiches.
Yep.
Please.
Well, in almost every gas station around here that has a sandwich place in it,
Or
is
fried
basically
chicken.
definitely has Cubans with them.
There's a gas
Well, there's
station
always
in
fried
Dunedin
chicken.
called
Cubans
the Dodge
and
Store
pizza.
that has the best fried chicken in the world.
Cubans and pizza.
Welcome to the Cubans and Pizza gas station.
But yes, no. So yeah, Cubans. That's definitely up there as a staple around here.
Yeah.
But so here's one, and this one actually, I'm surprised you didn't mention. you possibly could have mentioned, I know you've seen the movie, surprisingly, but because we are coming up to holidays, we're not going to talk about really Christmas, but it is a Christmas movie.
Okay, good.
The scene in Christmas Vacation when she overcooks the turkey, when he cuts into it, he's like, Catherine, if this turkey tastes half as good as it looks, we're all in for a big treat. It's so dried out, it just opens.
Save the neck for me, Clark.
It's kind of like the scene of when like the eggs open up in Alien,
Yeah.
or Aliens, whichever one. It's in all of them. But when the eggs actually open up, that's what it looks like. It's just like, psst. It's like, why are you?
Told you we put it in too early.
Save the neck for me, Clark.
It cuts into the scene and Clark's just like,
Yeah, they're all like just gnawing on,
it's like eating jerky.
pouring gravy all over it, like dousing it with gravy. Got any more of that lime Jello? It's good.
Does Aunt Bethany, does your cat like Jello? I sure do, Clark.
So in Goodfellas, so they even when they were in prison, they were having like 5-star Italian dinners,
Yeah.
which looked amazing. But the scene that always pops into my mind when I think of the meals from that movie is at the very end when he's in witness protection. He's like, "You ordered spaghetti and meatballs, and I get egg noodles and ketchup. This is disgusting."
Well, the thing with Goodfellas in that is, like I said, they have the breads brought in, the cheese is brought in. They got the one guy making the sauce, which I love that scene. He's like, he's narrating it. Henry is, and he's like, well, I always thought he should put too many onions in it, but he still made a great sauce. And
Yeah.
he's like, hey, how many onions you put in there? He's like, I only put 2 onions. You put too many onions. How many onions? He's like, how many cans of sauce? I used 2 cans, 2 big cans. And then there's a whole scene at the end, or towards the end, when he's on his coke binge and he's trying to get the drugs sold right before he gets busted. He's got his brother in
There's a
town.
helicopter above him.
But the whole thing, he's like narrating. He's like, now I got to go over here. I got to go get the stuff ready. I got to go get packed up. He's like, I got to get back, make sure he doesn't fucking burn the sauce, make sure he's stirring it. I got to do the Bergeau. I got the cutlets going and this and that. Like, you watch that movie and it's just like, as you're listening to that, you're like, God, I really want to go have some food now.
Really, Yoda.
And there are some subliminal things with those movies like that, especially the Italian movies more for me, is like if I turn on The Godfather or Goodfellas, whether I'm putting it on or whether it just happens to be on and I happen to hear it and I'm like, oh, great, I automatically start going to the fridge. And I have to start making, even if I don't have sauce, I'm like, all right, I'm going to run to the store real quick, start making this, I'm going to start making this, whatever, even if it's a quick fix version of it. But I'll get the cutlets but then I end up spending way more money than I should have. There goes rent because I'm like, next thing I'm feeding like 25 and it's just me.
Yeah, we're getting texts to come over and eat.
I have nowhere to live, but I've got food.
Yes. I can live in my Tupperware.
I used to work for a company that would monitor like product placements and advertisements and to gauge how well that worked. And I was like, how did people... This really can't work. And then literally about a month ago, I was playing a online video game with my friend, and they partnered with KFC. And we're in the world, and they're like, oh, if we eat the bucket of chicken, we get health. If we drink the soda, we get energy. This is okay, cool. You partnered with KFC. An hour later, I was like, what do I want for lunch? I pulled up the Uber Eats, and I ordered KFC.
You see that?
To be fair, I would have gone for Publix fried chicken.
Merchandising!
I would have gone for Publix fried chicken, but they use the same fryer as their shrimp, and my allergic ass can't touch it.
Yes, that's true. So,
baby.
if anybody wants to send him a gift,
What's a little-
Publix fried chicken.
It's a little anaphylactic shock.
We'll get some Publix fried chicken, put it in a KFC box. We'll get ready. You want some of this?
Patrick, I got you something good.
Let's see if he dies.
Here's your weekly PSA. If you have an EpiPen, make sure it doesn't expire, so when your friends try and kill you, you survive.
Yeah.
So please don't, until I go to the allergist to get a new prescription, please don't try and eat me.
Yeah. It's like, here, pass that on. There you go.
like
Fried
horrible
chicken.
bosses will just be over top of him stabbing him. Is it working? I don't get it. Like, what do we do? What do I do? It's like, it just keeps stabbing him in the chest.
That's not where it goes.
So wait. So my boss is literally dying in front of you, and you save his life. Well, I mean, it sounds bad when you put it like that.
But they're always, so not just, we'll say Goodfellas, but also like any mafia movie, like any of the Godfathers. They did My Blue Heaven. I mean, Gotti. There's so many of them out there. We talked about mob movies before. But any one of them, there's always a scene with a big feast.
I was gonna say eating is like always a big, and I think it's just kind of part of that culture of the family, and that was there is a lot of scenes in there just eating.
Yeah, there's not too many skinny Italians out there.
And I hate it for the actors because they shoot that scene 3 or 4 times. Damn, they're fat.
Do you hate it for them?
No, not
Do you
really.
think they hate it?
I
got to eat another brajol. Oh, what was me? I don't think we had that done on the
Dude,
first take.
I can't. I'm on my 6th cannoli. I can't. I can't.
That would be now when it comes to sugary stuff. Yeah, I'd be like, all right, can we just give me a fake one here? Like, 'cause
how about I just cut into the pie?
And then you cut off me as soon as I get the
Yeah,
fork
yeah,
in my
I
mouth.
get it here,
I toss
and
it
then you're
there,
done.
and then I pretend like I'm chewing while I'm talking to you.
Another great dinner scene that we haven't mentioned yet is from A Christmas Story. At the end of the movie, where the dogs ruin the Christmas dinner, so they have to go to the Chinese
The
restaurant.
Bumpus Hounds.
Yeah.
Ba-da-da-da-da.
It's la la la.
It's smiling. And it's at us.
And then they just chop its head off. And the mom is crying and laughing at the same time. That's like the best ending to a movie ever.
It's my whole trip in life.
Although I've never had Peking duck. I heard it's really good.
You want Peking duck?
You want shit, you eat shit.
Thank you for calling Shitty Wall.
You gotta tear down my she wall. Cheeseburger fries.
Cheeseburger.
That was actually a really good, cool scene from SNL. They did that.
Oh yeah.
And that was another
From Chicago.
Yeah, the fast food, more like kind of like diner chain, and just the banter back and forth.
Oh yeah, cheeseburger. He's like, I want a hamburger. No cheeseburger.
No, cheeseburger.
hamburger. He's like, I want Pepsi. Coke, no Pepsi.
Yeah.
Coke, no Pepsi. Cheeseburger, Coke.
Now the only thing I can think of is Dude, Where's My Car? Where they're going through the fast food.
And then... And then you can give it to us so we can eat it.
And
then if you don't, I'm going to come in there and kill you. And then punches the voice box.
No more and then.
Inside.
No more and then.
No more.
Well, even though it's not in movies, but it has to do with actors and talking about like the Italian thing is like in The Sopranos, every episode. Almost
Take your word
every
for it.
single episode.
I watched the
food
pilot
in
and I was
there.
like, this is clearly not for me. And then I've seen bits and pieces, and then I watched the movie with you.
Yes.
But yeah, I've never really watched The Sopranos.
That's sad. You should feel bad for yourself.
I do not.
You
I
should.
feel fine.
You should.
So we also have, and it's one of the greatest movies about food service work, which I know I haven't
Oh
done.
my God, you're gonna bring up
Waiting.
Yeah.
She made the cardinal sin. Don't fuck with people that serve your
Your
food.
food, yes.
I just still remember when the lady waitress tries to get in on the sack game and she just pulls up her skirt. Jesus
just
Christ.
massive
Does that thing
vag hair.
even shots?
Yeah. Oh my God, I think it's growling at me.
And then she goes.
Yeah, he's like,
Well, this movie is not. It's obviously it's all about food, but it's not so much like your normal set of food. But it was a documentary. That movie, Super Size Me.
No,
If you guys ever saw
yeah,
that,
yeah.
it's about the guy that back when McDonald's did the supersize menu, for an extra, what was it, 29 cents or something like that. You could supersize and get the supersized version. So the guy supposedly went on this thing for like 30 days or a month or something.
Yeah, so he ate it 3 times a day for a full month. And
Yes.
he had a massive amount of health problems. Like during the entire documentary, he was going to the doctors and getting blood work.
followed up. Yeah.
But he didn't actually gain a lot of weight.
No.
But it was like all the sodium and like everything.
The blood work was thick.
Terrible.
Yeah. Well,
it was curdled at that point.
Well, and the caveat to it was that he didn't have to get it supersized unless they asked him. So anytime he ordered, if they said, "Do you want a supersize?" he had to say yes.
Gotcha.
But he could have just, if nobody asked him, he would have just gotten the regular size. I do remember that. That's why he's like, I guess I got to get a supersize. Because she asked him, you want to supersize that for another 29 cents? I guess we need to.
We are now.
But also, not just with
America's gross.
Yeah, we are. We're awesome, though, too.
I mean,
America.
Hashtag America.
Just don't watch the animated the Birth of America start with what the hell, Channing Tatum on Netflix. That movie is fucking awful. I thought it was gonna be just hilarious, just like America, like for an hour and a half. It's worse than that.
Well, did you see that one?
Good old Channing.
There's that funny movie. What was it? I think it's Nothing But Trouble. It was the one with Chevy Chase, Dan Aykroyd, John Candy, Demi Moore.
Oh yeah, when it's like the
They like fall into this.
he's like the judge, Dan Aykroyd. Yeah.
He plays and then John Candy plays the one brother, but then he also plays the sister.
The sister, yeah.
And then but they're eating. He makes them eat those bratwurst things.
Oh god, yeah.
Yes, but they're
and his
so gross
nose
looking.
is hanging off. Yeah.
He's like.
Speaking of John Candy, The Great Outdoors, where he eats that 98
The old
ounce.
96er.
The old Sixer.
Yeah.
Yep. He's done.
That's nothing
He's like,
else
"He's
but fat
done."
gristle.
Bon appetit. If I throw in a couple hats and balloons,
Yeah,
I can
yeah,
get his
for the
dessert
kids,
out.
yeah.
And then he gets done and he gets home and they're like, look at all the maggots in that thing. What a waste of 96 ounces of steak.
He's walking out and he's just got the shirt laid on him. Like, he can't even wear the shirt.
Like, I always feel proud when I can finish a porterhouse in one sitting, and that thing scares the shit out of me. And even then, porterhouses, if it's cooked, like if it's really good, I'll save the T-bone side for steak and eggs the next morning, and it is the best steak. Like I went to Charlie's a couple of years ago, and I saved half of that for steak and eggs the next morning. This was the best steak and eggs I've ever had.
Well, yeah, you had to, take out a loan to eat there.
Oh God! I think the steak itself was $75.
Oh, easily.
Everybody at the table, because
That was with no seasoning on it.
Yeah. So
you want it cooked?
That's what I was going to say. No, that's just for the steak.
So me and a bunch of friends at work, we were on a team and we won a thing, and they're like, you could either have a pizza party at the office, or we could give each of you $70 to expense on a meal for your team. Like, we're doing that, please. And then we all decided,
yes, please.
Let's see, shitty pizza party.
Yeah, you can save your pizza, all right? We don't
So
want your shitty pizza.
we decided, let's just go out. So we got dressed up. We went to Charlie's, and we're like, this is only covering about half of the bill. You know that, right? They're like, yeah, but it's still it's half. Like I think I had one cocktail and a porterhouse, and that was $120.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Easy.
a friend of mine and his wife, they had steaks and a couple of cocktails, and that was damn near close to $200.
Damn.
It's like an amazing steakhouse. Like I always like Baskin's, but Charlie's in Tampa, that place blows it out of the water.
All right,
and it's around the same price.
So don't hurt me on this one.
Oh, Christ.
But it's not about eating, but it's completely about food. Sausage Party.
Oh. I went and saw that movie in the theater.
You're going to the great. I did too.
And I loved it until the very last scene.
The orgy scene.
That scene. I don't know why, but it freaked me out. It grossed me out.
I just love that Napoleon Dynamite was the whiskey.
Oh,
the
John Heater.
Yeah. Me, we drink them firewater.
There's a lot. Well, another one. It kind of goes in conjunction with the McDonald's one. Is the Founder, which is more about the building of McDonald's. I don't know if I'd really fully count that, but I could definitely add it to it.
Alive.
Yeah, if you want to go to... Well, if we're going that route, then you got Cannibal Holocaust, Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
But I mean, it may not be the food that
Red Dragon.
Hannibal.
Hannibal.
It may not be the food they wanted to eat, but they did eat a couple of courses.
May not be the
he
food
wanted
you
to
want.
eat that liver with some fava beans.
Hey, Chianti.
I'm talking about alive. Silence of the Lamb. That guy can do whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah, well, you don't want to mess with him.
No.
So there's another one from, and I want to say this was off of, not Nickelodeon, but it was it was a show, but Good Burger.
Oh.
Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger.
Yeah, it's a movie.
It's a new one.
And there's a sequel coming
I
out.
saw
it. Just came out or something.
they're
It's just not coming out.
It's on Paramount 35 years later.
Yes.
They're coming out with a TED show on Paramount.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I guess Seth MacFarlane's done with Orville, so...
Yeah. So it's basically Ted ripping that he's on Peacock. It's like, yeah. He's like writing a letter to himself, and it's like 2013 or something like that. Dear future me, are flying cars a thing? And he's reading it in the future. He's like, nope. He's like going through all these things. He's like finally like, hey, at least we're going to make it on a great network. Yeah, keep dreaming, buddy.
Well, another one that always shows a lot of food in there is My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
Oh, yes.
really any movie with weddings in there is going to have.
Yeah. I just damn it.
All right, so
I lost it.
he lost it, ladies and gentlemen. So
Not the first time, and definitely won't be the
He's
last.
lost that love and feeling.
there's one in that movie, Def Jam's How to Be a Player, where they have a barbecue scene. And but when you go there and you see this barbecue, it is phenomenal. Like the whole it's like a whole neighborhood family gathering type thing, and they're just eating. They got the ribs and the burgers, and there's chicken cooking and all this other good stuff. And it also reminded me of that other scene in one of my favorite Martin Lawrence movies.
Welcome
out
Home,
there.
Roscoe
Yep,
Jenkins. Yes, yes, that was immediately when my brain went. Was like that cookout. That's like
That thing is
that is awesome.
That is badass right there. That is fantastic. But yeah, they have they got like the potato salad and the coleslaws and the greens and the chickens and the dogs and the burgers and the brats and the rots and the tots and the hots. I don't know.
you know what we mean.
You know what I'm saying.
I found what I had lost, and it was "This is the end." The
When they're
morning after,
rationing, yeah.
Danny McBride just
When they're
starts
supposed to
making-
ration.
Yeah.
What's up, fuckers?
You telling me James Franco had a party? He didn't suck any dick. No, I just like the
Dude,
end of the world.
what are you doing? That was supposed to last us. That's like half our food. and then damn, Emma Watson comes in and steals the rest of it. It's like, so Hermione stole all our shit.
I just like how at the end where James Franco starts being like saved and he gives the finger to Danny McBride and he falls down. He's like, you can't give someone the finger if you want to go to heaven. And Channing Tatum is like his sex pet or whatever.
He's like, that's G.I. Joe right there. I fucked him last night. And he's like holding on. I love him.
Channing Tatum's my bitch. He's my bitch. This is funny. I've pulled up this thing that says, anything about food, but then there's, the different sections. It says horror food movies, and Saw comes up there.
Yeah, I don't get that.
I don't recall them eating in Saw.
See, I do. It's not the first. I want to say it's in the second or third one where it's just a bunch of rotting food and they had to go through it to find a key or something like that.
Gee, are we going to go to Human Centipede for that?
Why, Gavin?
I still love in Deadpool 2. He's like, there's a point in every movie where the hero meets their impasse or something like that. And he was like, for me, it's right now. For Human Centipede, it was the actors that decided to star in that movie.
I got one that's a little off, only because there's really one main scene in the movie. It's a comedy. It's a goofy comedy with Pauly Shore. It's a son-in-law.
Oh, yes.
But that ends, or close
Greatest
to the end.
Thanksgiving movie ever, though.
Yeah. But they had that scene when, they're all, it's near the end, and they've all kind of, warmed up to them, but they're having that whole fried chicken lunch or dinner. I think they made it for lunch. It's like, who has a lunch? It's like 10 tables long.
Yeah.
There's only like 5 of them there. And it's like,
Do you have 8 people, others like coming in here? Like,
yeah. He's like, I'm just going to grab a couple drumsticks to go. I got to get back out there.
gotta go outside.
So I just remembered Grandma's Boy.
Oh, yeah.
Grandma's Boy.
But when they go out to dinner on the CEO's dime and they go to the, new age earthy restaurant and David Spade's the waiter.
Shiloh.
Yeah, Shiloh.
Yeah, see there, Guy Blow. It's Shiloh.
Yeah. But he goes, like, all of our food is organic, doesn't come with grease or fat. And Jonah Hill's like, no, not Jonah Hill, it was Nick Swartzen.
Yeah.
He goes, if we pay extra, can we get some grease or fat?
We do serve shots of wheatgrass.
I like how they're leaving the Nick Swartzen is like, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Like, you go play your flute somewhere else. And then the girl is like, I'm so sorry for them. And she's like, you were sweet.
You're sweet.
Oh, let's go make fun of the vegans. Why don't you go choking a cow dick?
It's not just good, it's good for you. Well, I thought you were going to mention the other scene in that movie, and that's when the first night he's at the grandmother's house, and he puts all that food on the tray into the oven. He's got like, what was it, like lasagna?
Yeah,
there's
like a pile of spaghetti.
Yes. But it's like 5 different things.
God,
it's like
bread to go with the sauce.
He's so high, he gets everything out of the fridge. He's like, of course she doesn't have a microwave. She's fucking 100. So he puts it on a baking sheet. But if you notice, when it goes into the oven, there's a banana in the left-hand corner. When he takes it out, the banana is gone.
Oh, well, who cooks a banana?
Yeah.
I just
You know what? I like my bananas baked.
I still remember, like, of course she doesn't have a microwave. She's fucking on.
Yeah.
All right, so let me ask you this. We'll switch it up a little bit. So, and you kind of answered the question earlier, but let's see if you can figure out another one. Has there been a movie where you've been subliminally tricked besides the KFC one?
Oh, and that's from a video game.
Okay, so from a movie, have you been subliminally tricked by food in a movie? If so, what was that situation?
I mean, that's so I learned a lot about product placement in movies, from a YouTube channel who was talking about the emoji or product placements, and they were talking about how it's so if say if McDonald's sponsored the movie or television show, you have to put McDonald's sponsored this movie.
Yeah.
But the way they get around that is McDonald's doesn't sponsor the movie; they pay for the lighting setup. So it's not really sponsored by them. They just put it in your movie and we'll pay for the lights. So that's what Reese's Pieces did for E.T. They only paid for the marketing, but Bill, they didn't actually sponsor the movie.
Okay.
So that was really weird. I don't know why I thought of that, because I'm trying to think of something and I'm stalling and I can't. And it definitely wasn't E.T. because Reese's Pieces are okay, but I want the cup.
I don't know. I think Reese's Pieces actually taste better when they're in shapes. Like the egg. Or the Christmas tree.
So I'll give you an example, and this really doesn't constitute as regular food, but it is edible. But there's in Tommy Boy. So I saw that movie after. I didn't see it in the theater, but I saw it after when it came out on still VHS back then. And
I think when my mom cleaned out her VHSs, we threw that out.
Well, so
because we had the DVD.
We had the DVD. But when I was watching Tommy Boy, there was a scene in there, and I was never always, even as a kid, like, I liked certain candy, but I wasn't like a big sweets person.
Did you get a bag of M&Ms when it rolled into
Peanut
the radio?
M&Ms, yeah. So that's exactly, there's that scene because they do a close-up of the peanut M&Ms
Yep.
rolling, and
Rolling
ever
into the radio.
since then, I went right to the store after that movie, and I got peanut M&Ms. And I blame it on on peanut M&Ms to this day. I've mentioned that, I'm like, it's from Tommy Boy. I never had a craving for anything except for peanut M&Ms. And I blame you, Tommy Boy. But I love you, Chris Farley.
Yeah.
R.I.P. So this isn't about food, but I will say the same thing does happen, and they kind of touch on this in the movie Thank You for Smoking with Aaron Eckhart.
Oh, yeah.
He was trying to get cigarettes back into movies because he was watching an old, Western, and the John Wayne pulls out a cigarette and he just reaches for one. He's like, oh my God, that was subliminal. Like, let's do this for cigarettes. And I was like, back then, unfortunately, I fell off the non-smoking wagon, so I still am a smoker. Yeah. Boo me. I'm a quitter of quitting. But I was like, damn, that's true. Like, every time, like, if I'm home, obviously not in a theater, I was like, oh, that guy's smoking. I'm going to walk out. I'll be back in 5 minutes. But if, like, I'm home, I got something on Netflix, and, like, someone pulls out a cigarette, like, that's, like, the worst idea I've ever seen. And the problem is, there are a couple of movies where they, like, chain smoke, and I was like, okay, I want one, but come on, Patrick.
Cancer race and go.
So being a smoker and watching Thank You for Smoking, that was my voice was a little bit raspier the next day.
All right, so let me ask this, and unless you got one.
No.
So, okay, so then has there ever been a movie that you know you're going to see, and I mean more at home or at a friend's place, where you have a specific meal for that movie?
Oh, so it's not for a specific movie, but whenever me and my friends gather at one of our places to watch movies, we usually make like an afternoon out of it, but we will order a large pizza and some boneless wings, and one of us will... Usually one of us will have beer in the fridge, but like, hey, if you want something else, bring a White Claw, bring White Claw. If you want actual beer, or your craft bullshit, you know who I'm talking about. Well, you don't listen to the podcast. It's BYOB at that point, so it's always pizza, wings, and beer. So it's not like, I remember we were gonna go see the new Mission Impossible. One of my friends hadn't watched any of them, so we went over there and we watched the first three. And then we had pizza, beer, and wings, and we do that every time. So it's not specific to the movie. It's just... But
you do. There is certain things, certain food you will get.
Yeah. So if we're making like a friend hangout where we're watching movies, that's the go-to.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at. I just meant in general, like, is there a certain thing? So an example would be, like we talked about the movie The Many Saints of Newark when we watched that. It's based off the Sopranos show, but I was like, all right, if we're doing this, we're gonna make the night of it, and went to Cesarina's and got the baked ziti,
Oh.
and got the meatballs,
Oh,
and got the
meatball
bread,
was
and got all
amazing.
this
Those
stuff.
things were the size of my fist.
Yeah, those things are phenomenal. And so, but I mean, it's like
But
you
you
watch
pay
a
for
movie
it.
like that, you know you're gonna eat something
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
no.
And I had been waiting for that movie to come out or something along from The Sopranos come out for so long. I said we got to do this. So that was more prep, but kind of like you, like I'll pick something. There's certain movies. I don't know why. Maybe it's just in general. Chinese food's always a good go-to
Yeah.
for some
mean,
movies because it's quick and easy. You
Yeah.
can get it ordered.
I
boom,
love
it's
my
done.
wonton soup, but I don't get it too often, only just because I feel so much sodium. I feel so bloated for like a week after eating
You
it.
want wonton?
fried wonton. You
No,
want
but-
fried wonton?
You
I
want
never
a
get-
dog or cat?
I get steamed dumplings and 2 things of wonton soup.
Steamed, yes.
Yeah, dumplings. What about you, Gab?
I mean, obviously.
Yeah,
I
what's
love,
your favorite Chinese food?
I love
I've
some-
never seen it.
I'll take the
chicken?
number
Orange-
L23.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Number 23, hold the broccoli.
What's your like food for movies? Or...
So I mean, I love even at home, not just at the movie theater. I love doing popcorn.
okay.
Okay.
It's just something about even like I said, even being at your house, you feel like you're still at the theater.
Yeah.
Got my drink over here and a whole big I got like a salad, like a tosser,
Yeah.
or mixing bowl basically. And it's giant, so I just I'll make like 2 bags and throw it in there.
Okay.
Oh, I love me some
I
popcorn.
thought you were gonna say I was like, you have a salad with popcorn?
Hey, yeah,
like, I mean,
it's popcorn salad. It's a new thing.
it's actually not the strangest thing I've ever
I mean,
heard.
yeah,
Um,
I might have to try it now.
for the holiday season, I always buy myself 3 things just for either myself or any guests that come over and their food items. I treat myself to one of those big tubs of popcorn where you get the 3
3.
flavors.
Yeah.
I don't
Caramel,
like
cheddar, and
Yeah,
regular.
caramel.
And
Yeah.
no one eats the caramel.
I eat the caramel.
Yeah, well, then
It's all yours.
Save it all yours.
My dad used to give me a box of Cracker Jacks every week when I was a kid, and then I'm so sick of caramel popcorn.
Why don't you like caramel popcorn?
I mean, I don't dislike it. I would much rather have the cheddar.
Or the butter. If
Cheddar's
you
my
s-
favorite.
If you search hard enough, you can find a tin that doesn't have a caramel as the 3rd one.
I don't want that tin. You can keep that
I
tin
do.
all to yourself.
Tony wants the all caramel.
So I treat myself to one of those big tubs. I buy a pack of Purelines. Apologies if I'm mispronouncing the shit out of that. But it's like a long wafer tube filled with like hazelnut chocolate.
Oh,
in the middle.
yeah.
Ooh.
They're really good. I tell myself, like, I always eat them around Christmas. I was like, I'm going to destroy these in a week. And, 3 months later, well, I should probably throw the rest of those out. They're just way too sweet. You have one, you're like, yeah, I'm good for a couple of hours. And then 3 days go by, like, I should have another one.
I'm
I
gonna
should
have
have one more.
diabetes.
Good for a couple hours. 3 days later.
Yeah.
And I always buy myself non-peppermint flavored candy canes. One, I don't like peppermint, and 2, some of them, they have a Skittles flavor out now.
I much rather have like the peppermint bark.
Oh,
That
okay.
is good. I'm not a fan of candy canes, but that, because it's just that hint of it.
Yeah.
And then the chocolate underneath. Oh, that's so good.
I also find too, fried chicken's always good for certain movies.
Yeah.
If I'm in the mood for fried chicken, it doesn't matter what I'm doing. I'll fucking destroy a KFC bucket.
I don't need to watch a movie to have fried chicken.
Yeah. My stomach would disagree, and my wallet would certainly disagree.
Just because of the theme song don't make it not true.
Yeah.
That's right. You go up there, you tell old Lance.
Lance.
The fuck is Lance?
So before we continue on with food and movies, we do want to obviously still recognize, with Thanksgiving coming up. What are you guys doing for Thanksgiving?
Well, I will be in the great state of Virginia. Not so great. Anyway.
Hi, Virginia.
I get to go home and freeze my butt off. Yay!
Good for you.
That's why I went up north in October. It was still chilly, but it wasn't like snow chilly.
Thankfully, we're not going to be getting any snow. And I think during the day, what I've been looking at is still like 60s.
Okay, so it's like Massachusetts. I was
And-
waking up to 42, and it got up
Yeah.
to like 63 or something.
Yeah, at night it's going to be in the 40s, like low 40s. but
And is it a
it's not gonna be
bigger
freezing.
family event or just immediate family?
Yeah, just immediate family.
What about
Traditional
you,
stuff?
Yep.
Nice.
What about you, Mr. Tony?
So me this year is a little bit different. I haven't done a family thing in a while just due to just stuff. And so recently I was invited a few weeks back, my uncle said, "Hey, we had some changes in the family recently," and he said, "Hey, we're gonna all just kind of get together this year just to be together. Do you want to come over?" Because normally they would do stuff with just his in-laws, and then my other family would do stuff with just them. Everybody kind of had their own thing, and then I would go out driving and bring stuff to my mother. And so he said, "Hey, you want to come over? We're gonna have everybody here this year." Which isn't a lot of people, but it's everybody here.
It's everybody.
So I said, "Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be fine." And he's like, "Yeah, and then you can take leftovers, bring them to your mother. It'd be great. Okay, cool." So I left, and an hour later, I get a phone call. "You're really good at cooking turkeys, aren't you?" It's like, "We're not good. Would you mind coming over and cooking?" So when you come over, would you mind actually just coming over early and cook?
I have
and
a
I
good
said,
recipe for you.
"Oh, I've got mine set.
Okay.
I've cooked many times, but I told them, in case any of them ever see this."
Or listen to this.
Or listen to it. I told them, I was like, if I'm making the turkey, which is the biggest portion of the actual meal, I said, just stay out of the kitchen. I'm making everything. Like, be my sous chef so you can sit back. You peel my potatoes. You can hand them to me, but I got to cook everything because when you're dealing with the turkey, you're dealing with the stuffing and you're dealing with the gravy. It's all encompassed with the turkey. I'm like, if I'm going to do this, let me do everything. So I will be over there cooking up for everybody, and they will eat. And
they will like it.
They will like it.
I want a hot dog. I want a hamburger. You'll get nothing, Spalding, and like it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I can't hear any assholes orders right now.
Just sneeze in the food and be like, "I'm sorry, I'm allergic to bullshit."
Yeah, my bad.
At you.
Somebody give me a bunch of Kleenex. Just bring the whole box.
I want to need a whole box.
And what about you?
So I'm just going up to my sister's house, like I do every year. The past so during COVID, my sister, who usually hosts Thanksgiving, it was in November, and like restrictions were opening up, so we were all going to go gather it there. But she's like, "No, we're going out of town. Vegas opened up, and my brother-in-law had a work thing, so I actually had to host that year. So I cooked the turkey and I spatchcocked it. If you know what that is, it's a great way to cook your turkey. And I made this.
He did what with his cock?
Yeah, don't worry about it.
All right.
We'll
I cut out
that
the
one
spine
out.
and broke the breastbone. That's what I did. And then I had to make the dressing and the mashed potatoes. My mom came over and helped make the gravy because you had to use the juices from the turkey.
Yeah, you had your hands all over that breast, didn't you?
Yeah.
Like I was giving incorrect CPR
Incorrect.
because I broke the damn breastbone.
I mean, technically, they say that's the correct way to do CPR.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed it. So ever since then, the following year, I was like, "Mom, can I make the turkey?" And she's like, "If you do that, I have nothing to do." I was like, "Don't you want that?" She's like, "No, I feel useless." I'm like, "All right." So ever since then, I've been making my mac and cheese recipe, and it's not like blue box kind of stuff. Like I have a panko breadcrumbs, 3 kinds of cheese, ziti, prosciutto, diced prosciutto mixed in there.
So I'll be locked up for a week.
Yeah.
I can't have a movement.
And it's really good. I got it from a friend of mine's girlfriend, and it's stupid good. And my other buddy's like, "That sounds just like mine, except I add bacon to it instead of prosciutto." I was like, "You diabolical genius."
I hate you and love you at the same
I
time.
mean, you had bacon anything, it's going to
Oh,
be good.
God, yes. It's the only reason I couldn't be a vegetarian.
Yeah.
I could give up just about every meat, but bacon, never.
I can't give up steak. But this year, ever since then, I've been making my mac and cheese, so I will be making that this Thursday morning, and before I head up to Palm Harbor, which for me, with traffic lights, Almerton and 19 being the way they are on a holiday, it's going to take me about half hour.
Yeah, thanks for bringing us over some, jackass.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want, I'll make some the next time we record.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I can make my breakfast quiche.
Your breakfast quiche?
Yeah.
We should have done a Thanksgiving potluck
Yeah, we
episode.
should've, yeah.
What'd you make today? Hang on a second.
We're just sitting here stuffing our face.
Yeah.
So there's one more.
I am really excited for Thursday right now.
It's right around the corner.
I can see it
Can you
I'm off-
see Thursday?
physically.
It's not the end of the world, but you can see it from here.
Yeah.
I'm off from one job until the 27th, and the other job I have 2 more shifts left until I'm off for a few days, and I'm just looking forward to the holidays.
All right.
Yeah, this will be my longest vacation this year.
Nice.
Be in Virginia for 5 days. Which is just long enough, because I don't have to take my passport or anything to get back.
Or do you?
Or do I? The Commonwealth of Virginia.
Virginia's the new Canada.
Yeah,
You gotta have a
right.
passport to get in. Regulations.
To be around my family, you do.
Yeah. Hi, Mom.
Oh, both the uncles are coming.
Well, that's why I enjoy our Thanksgivings, because I'm looking forward to getting back to that, because our family dynamic is we're not kind to each other.
Yes.
So it's really just one rip fest of each other, of every 2 seconds. Like nobody can do anything or say anything without there being 18 comments from the peanut gallery on the side, and it's fun. That's our family. That's what we do.
So we go up to my sister's house, and everybody who's not driving home just spends all day drinking. So by the time dinner is done, and we used to just go through the newspaper and look at all the Black Friday sales, but now you can find them online in July. So my mom and sister, I don't even think go out anymore at 5 o'clock in the morning, and they were like, "Pat, you want to go with us?" Like, I'll be at the store working. That's back in college.
You can come see me.
Right? If you want to come to KB Toys, that's fine, because I'll be at the mall at 4:30 in the morning, because I'm a shift manager.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I remember one year I had to be there at 4:30 in the morning, and I worked till like 9, and then I had to come back at like 4 o'clock that day to close the store. Like, that was the worst shift in the world. Thank you, Danielle, my old store manager.
One of my favorite, and this is from TV shows from Big Bang Theory, their Thanksgiving episode was freaking hilarious.
I'm trying to remember which one it was.
So it's when Bernadette's dad is there.
Okay. Oh, I know.
He gets Sheldon drunk when they're watching football.
Yeah.
And Wallowitz is trying to get in good with her dad, like connect with him, and he's connected with Sheldon.
Yeah.
So at the end of the episode, both him and Sheldon are drunk. And he was like, Amy comes out, and she's like, "All right, now you got to apologize to Howard." It's like, "I'm sorry, I've had alcohol and it's made me misbehave or something like that." And then so he finally looks over at Amy and smacks her on the ass. "Now go get me another beer, honey." And like as soon as he hits, like she starts walking off and she starts getting this little grin, like.
Yeah.
Back to food movies real quick.
Yes.
I did Demolition Man. So
Okay.
there are two scenes about food in that one. It's one where they go to Taco Bell. I remember like the Prime Minister is like, "You shall join me for dinner at Taco Bell." And Sylvester Stallone like, "Taco Bell?" Sandra Bullock's like, "Yeah, they won the franchise wars. Every restaurant is Taco Bell."
Yeah.
So in my mind, I was like, "Dear God, I want to be in the future." And then I saw what they were serving at the fancy. I was like, "That's not Taco Bell."
It was like smaller than sushi.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even meat in it.
Well, is there really meat in Taco Bell?
There is a meat-like product. And they say it's grade A beef, but I wouldn't be surprised.
No, they got it from the dyslexic cow.
They got it from the horse that had to be put down.
Grade A of the 9th tier
Yeah,
of beefs.
yeah.
It's top of its quality in its class.
Grade A horse meat.
Where it's at, it's the best.
Yes. Well, another one that's always good too is
real quick.
Sorry, go ahead.
And there's another scene when they go down into the underground with Dennis Leary. As the leader,
yeah.
And he goes to order a burger, and Sandra Bullock's, "Do you see any cows around here?" And because of his incarceration, he speaks fluent Spanish, and she's like, "Rata, this is a rat burger." He's like, "Ah, see." And he's like,
And he keeps
yeah,
eating
he's
it.
like, "It's good," and he just keeps eating it.
I mean, if it tastes good,
Yeah.
what's the difference?
I mean, I had a chocolate-covered grasshopper once. I was like, "This is a grasshopper? This is really good."
Yeah.
I mean, I don't go out of my way to buy them,
I was
but
gonna say, where were you at? Seoul?
He's outside looking for grasshoppers. I'm hungry.
All right, come here, buddy.
I'm watching a movie later. Get some snacks. Leave me alone.
Guess what? I gotta
you see
pay
me
it
out
with
front
some
of the
milk and
Regal.
chocolate.
I hear one of them chirp, and he's like, "I'll be right back. I just found my snack."
It's like biting half the body with one hand, taking a Hershey's bar bite out of another. It's like chocolate covered grasshoppers, man.
He's gonna smell the Hershey's bar and then
Yeah. Well, one other one too. When we're talking about food movies, and this also more gets back into Christmas area, but they do have some of the best food area in the movie. Is Christmas with the Cranks, and it's when she's battling over that last honey ham.
Yeah.
Because the daughter's coming back. She was going to be gone, and they had the plan to take the big trip. If you haven't seen Christmas with the Cranks, I'm not going to get all into it, but basically the daughter ended up coming back home last minute, so they have to rethink and get back into the Christmas mode. And
Tim Allen is pissed.
Yes. And the daughter's favorite thing is this. I can't remember. It's like whatever the brand name honey ham. And she goes in there and she's like, "Do you have?" And there's one left, and there's a lady that has it. and she's like, I will give you like $100 for that honey ham, and they're like battling for this honey ham and stuff, and it's like one of the greatest scenes because later on you see that they have the honey ham there, and when it's all cut up in honey deliciousness, it looks wonderful.
It does. It's
It looks
beautiful.
delicious.
God, I'm hungry now.
Another Christmas movie, The Santa Claus with Tim Allen. Another Tim Allen movie. In the beginning, the son comes over and he's gonna make a turkey. He's looking at the cookbook in 4 hours. Jeez, like he's starting at 6 o'clock at night. And then the quick cut. It's on fire. It's a ball of fire in the oven. So they have to go to Denny's, and Tim Allen sees the other day, and he's like, burnt turkey, and the guy just raised the burned hand.
Well, I mean, when you come to that, there's like, is it food? Yes, but the whole movie's based on his Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Yes.
Now I
The original.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah,
I was basing it off the original one.
Please don't bring up the Johnny Depp version.
But there is another version coming out that they're redoing.
Yeah, just called Wonka.
Yeah,
But that's more of a prequel to explain
Yeah.
kind of how he became.
like he gets the Oompa Loompa.
Yeah.
I don't want to say I'm excited, but I'm hopeful that this one will be good because they really over the Johnny Depp one.
I think it will be because it's a prequel. Because it's supposed to explain the story of him becoming Willy Wonka.
Gotcha.
Not really like, the other one was a revamp of the original one, based off the book. Which they did say there's a lot more accuracy to the book, to the newer Charlie and the Chocolate Factory
really?
movie, because that's actually the title of the original book was Charlie and the Chocolate, not Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, but because the other one's so classic and it is Gene Wilder, and how do you not love Gene Wilder?
Yeah.
That one will always stick as like a basis for all Wonkas,
It's just a really good movie. Genuinely.
and it's not a bad scene.
Lick it. Bananas taste like bananas. The snozzberries taste like snozzberries. What's a snozzberry?
We are the makers of chocolate. We are the dreamers of dreams.
Dude, you just ate like $100 worth of shrooms, like $75 worth of weed. So I'm gonna give you $175 when you get a chance.
Messed up, man.
So we got a few minutes left, but there is definitely one other scene I want to talk about. It's more of a kind of gross, funny one. It's in one of the scary movies when it's Chris Elliott when he's got the
Take
hand.
my strong
And he's licking the turkey and stuff,
want
and
the
he's got the
mashed
mashed potatoes,
potatoes?
and he digs it in there, and he's dropping on people.
And he just like dunks it in. And then, like everyone just quits.
Take my strong arm.
He's like got that turkey, and he's like licking it and stuff. So if you ever want a good, not so good
Seem
meal,
to be grossed out. So there is one movie. I remember seeing it, but it's Julie and Julia. So it's basically this lady. She was doing a blog, and she was going through Julia Child's cookbook.
yeah.
And I want to say it was maybe over a year or something like that. But the cool part about the movie is that like it's cut into it's the lady now and like her struggles and things that she's doing, and then it cuts back to Julia Child and like she's she's got her on like watching on TV, but she's like going through her stuff as well, like how hard it was for her to get into that industry that was so male dominated at the time. So it's a good movie.
Oh yeah. Well,
and completely about
well, one, it's really only about food at the end, but the whole goal of it is Harold and Kumar go to White Castle.
Yes. Oh my God, yes.
It's like the whole goal. Not that White Castle is good food by any means. I'm not a fan of
I'll
it.
tell you what, that did give me some
80-60
subliminal messaging.
80-60 onions, and I'll eat like 15 of those things.
I can't do it.
I still remember when they finally get to White Castle and they run back into Neil Patrick Harris,
yeah.
and he's like, "You abandoned us." He's like I said, Dick, move. Here, I paid for all of your food.
And there's a little extra for the stains in your car.
You'll see.
Yeah.
He's like, what
You'll
state?
see.
You'll see.
Like I said, Dick, move.
I'm in the mood for burgers. Fur burgers.
I was thinking about Soylent Green, but we already kind of talked about that kind of stuff. But I remember the old Twilight episode where the aliens land and they give him a book to translate, and he's like, "All right, I'm gonna go back to their planet because it sounds like a paradise." And the lady runs up and she's like, "It's a cookbook." And he tries to get off, and they just like drag him back on the board of the spaceship. And the Simpsons parody that on a Treehouse of Horror. They're like, it's like how to cook humans. It's a cookbook, and they blow it on more. It's like how to cook for humans, and then she blows on it again. And it's like how to cook humans for eating, and then like, blow on it again. It's like how to cook humans for eating the proper amount of food, or something like that.
Well, we do have only a couple minutes left, but before we go, just want to also announce too, in case we missed any of the movies, there are plenty of movies with food or food scenes in them. So if you want to reach out to us, send us an email, send us a like all that good
Tell
stuff.
us your favorite.
But a couple honorable mentions. I mentioned Chocolat.
Chocolat.
Another Johnny
Just a
Depp
delightful
movie.
movie.
It's just simply delightful. What's that one? Eat, Love, Pray.
Yeah,
Pray,
I
Love.
believe, or Eat, Pray, Love.
Yep.
Eat, Pray, Love.
Mamma Mia. There's probably
Mamma Mia. It's got some food in it. It's got some food in it, man.
Oh, we got food.
But yeah, there's definitely plenty of movies out there we may have missed or may not have. Maybe we got it right this time.
Doubt it.
Yeah, probably.
Knowing us.
We're still us.
Yeah. I'll get a text on Wednesday afternoon from a couple of friends. Like, you didn't talk about this one? No, we did not.
The movie's literally called Eating.
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. They eat people.
The stuff.
The actors were the food.
Yep. What was that one, Motel Hell, where it ends up being they end up keeping the people and making the meat out of them? It's their special ingredient.
Oh.
But they use the people as it.
Long pig.
Well, you could go on the other end and say Little House of Horrors.
Little Shop of Horrors.
Little shop, yeah.
Yep.
Feed me, Seymour.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's got technically it's food for the plant.
Exactly.
And he has a couple of eating scenes.
Yep. Yes, he does. Eat Steve Martin after he chops him up.
Good old Steve.
Steve Martin. But yeah, so we are about out of time. So as always, remember, check us out on Spotify, all the good stuff.
Yeah, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, YouTube.
Every
So you
other
can
one,
see
yeah.
these
Find us
faces.
on YouTube here for that. Again, still, we're available on Sundays also on WDBF.FM or WDBF.com. That's available on Sundays. Every show launches on Wednesdays. Just keep checking us out. Elevation Artists will be with them soon coming
Couple
up the
months,
next year.
hopefully.
Yep, that'll be coming up here pretty soon. And we're also, in the near future, going to have some more guests on to join us to talk fun things about movies.
And join us for this random bullshit.
Yes, and for the holiday one. So, but that's it for Movie Talks and Chill. Happy holidays, happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
Remember,
Eat too much, don't eat too much, whatever your flavor
remember
is.
She-Hulk, you want elasticity in your pants for this Thursday.
Exactly.
Yes. So happy Thanksgiving to you all. Until then, for Movie Talks and Chill, we're your hosts. I'm Tony Serrato.
I'm Gavin Butts.
I'm Patrick Wall.
All right, guys, take care.